and now I became staying at my home officially. Now I could not stay with my dad because my dad was not married, so I started staying with my grandmother, though my dad could visit every day because he was not far away. So I went back to school. I was in class 7 by then. I completed my KCP. I passed well. I was called to my girls and I was happy because it was my dream school. But unfortunately, I didn't have the school fees, so I just had to enroll myself to a local school because nobody was willing to take me to school. So I had to force my dad to take me, which he did. I continued with school until when I was in Form 2. Then something happened that changed my life drastically, which I had never thought. We had funeral at home, then a KDF soldier came and he was like, who's going to take a soda? And for that time, whenever somebody is offering a soda, you regarded that person as a very important person in the society. So it was a police officer and you are like, these are those people who are there to protect us. So we were seated with my fellow students, then he came, he offered to give us some sodas. We accepted. And they came, the sodas were opened, everybody took whatever they had requested for and we drank. From there, the following day, I didn't know what happened until the following day in the morning at 9 a.m. when I found myself lying in bed in my brother's house. And I was like, how did I get myself here? So when I woke up, just trying to get out of that bed, I found myself, I was in blood, and I was like, how did I stain my clothes? I had seen my period barely 2 weeks. Now how comes? So waking up, I was like, the sheets are soiled with blood. How could I menstruate and I'm not aware of? But the funny thing is that I was in so much pain, abdominal pain. My private parts were aching, but I couldn't understand. So the only thing I did was just to go wash myself in the river because, you know, at that time, when anyone could see your clothes stained with blood, they could just make fun of you, laugh at you. So I didn't want anyone to see me. I just went to the river, cleaned myself, washed the sheets, and went back home because the funeral was going on, so I didn't have anyone to look for me. So I just kept on, like, my body was weak and I couldn't understand. So the following day I went to school and I was still weak, so I just went and asked my teacher and told her, you know, yesterday I saw blood when I woke up, but I haven't seen it today, and it's barely 2 weeks since I saw my periods, and it was the first period I saw. And the teacher told me, maybe you have hormonal imbalance, so we'll just have to wait and see. As time goes by, your hormones will either balance or not, because girls differ. So I just relaxed and life continued. But this man, when I woke up, on the table there was a matchbox written on a mobile number. So I took that number and I gave to my brother, whom I had found myself in his house, and told him I found this contact, and said, okay, I'll just check who it is. Then after a few months, like that was like 2 months, I had my aunt telling my grandmother, hey, Caro is pregnant. So I was like, how can I be pregnant yet? I have not known any man. So I went for 2 weeks without talking to them because to me it was like an insult. You know, when you are that church girl, like you do all the activities just revolve around the church and the ministry, and here now they claim you're pregnant and you're like, how did it even happen? So after that 2 weeks without talking, they told me, Caro, you have to go to the hospital and let's confirm. Unfortunately for me, it was confirmed that I'm pregnant, and it came as a shock to me. And this brother, he was the closest person to me. So I went to him and told him, I'm pregnant. He was like, so it means you had a good time. And I was like, what do you mean a good time? And he told me, Caro, you want to tell me you didn't have a good time? I asked him, how? What do you mean? And he said, how do you think you found yourself in my bed? Like, the guy whom I was, who is the police officer, paid me so that he could have some good time with you. And that's why I allowed him to use my house and my bed. And to me, I felt betrayed. And I cried. I told him, whatever you have done to me, you will never know peace. Like, how could you do such a thing to me when I trusted you the most? When I could share with you everything, how could you do this? And he told me, you know what, nobody can let money pass, especially in these times, like when we need money. So when you get an opportunity, you take it. So I felt sad. I cried. And my dad could ask me, who is responsible for the pregnancy? And they're like, where will you begin? Whom will you say is responsible for the pregnancy? And that's when my dad said, Caro, you are no longer my child. The church told me, Caro, you have disappointed us. So automatically I became on my own.